Got a box, got a box, I got a box. I know what it is. There's the letter that came with it. We have a restoration to do. Refurbished. And look what we have here. Now, sheath seems to be in good condition. Needs a little buffing. Some mink oil. Maybe can do something with this strap here. This is a amber colored plastic type handle. Looks like a Bakelite maybe. I don't know what this knife is because I can't see it under the rust here. That's the only place on it that's really got a little bit of pitting type rust. Aluminum. I do believe this is aluminum. Let me get a little brush and see if we can't figure out what it is. Let's see what I'm doing here. I still can't see it. Hang on. It's a wore out piece of sandpaper. Gently. RH-36 it looks like. Is that what I think it is? That is a PAL, P-A-L, made in USA. Now, heard of these? I'm gonna have to look it up and see, get some more information on it. If I'm not mistaken, this one will date back into the 70s. Very good shape. The finger guard is bent. That should be no problem. Aluminum Bakelite. Aluminum spacers here. It's in pretty good shape. That's the factory scratches in here where they ground the blade. Very common in most knives, even today. A lot of knives. Most of mine have the same scratches. But these are a little rough. So when we polish it, we're going to have aluminum, and I don't know about a gun blue blade. What did the kids say? I ain't feeling it. Maybe we should high polish this one. If it's what I think it is, and the rare is what I think it is. May not be, but we'll look at it and see. Next clip, I'll show you that. Gonna be fun. Alright, been doing some reading. We have something more than what I thought it was. This is a pre-World War II fighting knife. Military style fighting knife. See, you probably can't see that screen. This is on a military antique page. PAL was a brand for Utica knives. And they were very famous and still are very collectible in New York, Utica, New York. See, they went out of business in 1953. And let's see what else say around it. So this was made between 39 and 1939, 40, somewhere in there. So this is very, very valuable collectible right here. Let's see. I did look at eBay and Etsy. in an awful condition, these are selling for 150 bucks. I didn't see one restored yet. I didn't look that far into it. Very collectible. This one, after I get done with it, very easily go for $250, $300. Of course, I'm doing this for a customer. This is not mine. But that's why when you find an old knife like this, even though you can't see nothing about it, check your tang stamp, look them up. They may be worth some money, especially to a collector. Now this one appears to me to have the, looks like a factory sharpened edge on there still. It doesn't look like it's been used. If it has, it's been light. That was mint part there was either probably dropped or something like that. Or if it was used, it was very, very well taken care of, as old as it is. So let's figure out what we're going to do. First thing, I'm going to straighten this. Then I'm going to tape up this handle and pommel. Get that protected for now, and then we'll start working on the blade. I'm going to buff it on the buffer a little bit first. Get this rust off of it, a tiny bit that's there, right in here and here. And then we'll address these scratches here, or we may just leave them in there, because that's the way it came. That's a scratch right there. It's not a crack. All right, let's get to work. I'm excited now. All right, trying to get where down here where y'all can see me. My little tripod is broken, and I haven't got another one yet. This is the big one folded up. Maybe it'll work. Show y'all what I'm doing. All right, we got to bend this back straight, and I'm going to very, very gently with a tiny hammer bend it back straight. Now, I've taped a piece of leather to my hammerhead. We don't want to mar it up, as well as a little scrap piece on the anvil here. Now, it shouldn't take much. I'm hoping anyway. Let's try it this way. Okay, that's not working, so let's try it like this. I don't think it's going to hurt it. Okay, that didn't work either. We may have to do away with the leather and try it. A little bit. A little bit more. Let's try one more thing. This might work better. Not working either. No, my leather came off. That seems to be not aluminum, that's steel. There we go, that worked. That's what I was afraid. If it was aluminum, it would, as they say, booger it up. There we go. That's straight. Make sure you don't see that on the camera. Yep, I straightened it right on out. Now let's wrap this handle up, and we'll get in here first and get all this little bit tiny bits of rust out of there. All right, here we go. Got the all the rust sanded off of it. Ready for the buffer. I'm going to tape this handle up. I had it taped up and I took it off. the research I've done on it, I can't find one, and I haven't looked at all of them yet, but with a handle like this, it looks a little odd to me, like maybe this is on upside down, the pommel. But then again, it doesn't. It's really, really hard to say. But now I do believe, though, with this kind of material and this, to try to take it off would be to destroy it, and we sure don't want to do that. So I'm going to keep looking at pictures. I'm sure I'll find one with this same type handle on there. Most of them's got stacked leather handles that I can see. But I need to go into my main computer also. I can look through that one better than this little laptop I got out here. Anyway, it's going to tape up the handle with some tape and a paper towel. Then we'll head over to the buffer. Put in a couple hours on the buffing wheel. Now, one reason it takes so long on the buffer with a knife like this is this thing's sharp. It's got an edge on it already. Most of the high polish I do is knives that I build that don't have an edge on them yet, not a sharp edge. And if this thing gets away from you in the buffer, you're in trouble. But took my time very carefully. What do you think about that? Now, sort of on the fence about leaving it high polished or gun bluing, because it is a combat knife. Combat knives are normally subdued. But I still haven't seen all the pictures of these knives, but I've seen quite a few. Some of them are high polished, some of them are not. Now, if this is going to be showcased to look at, or even to be used, I think high polish will be just fine. So that's what we're going to do, leave it just like that. All right, now let's untape this handle. And the pommel, I don't know, we might as well high polish that too. Shouldn't be bad, just aluminum. First, before I untape the handle, I'm going to retape. I'm going to close up the blade. Tape it up good so we don't scratch it up. The only little teeny tiny pitting that's in there is what was there original. And those scratches in the grind that I told you all about. I didn't sand them out. I buffed them real good. You can still see them. They're still there, but they're very, very smooth to where they were rough before. So that'll help prevent any rust on there. There we go so far. There we go. Got the pommel all polished up. Polished the handle. Now, I did not put any kind of compound or anything on the handle. I just dry polished it. It's in really good shape. I don't want to take any material away, which as you add compound, that's what you do. Cuts it away. And I think it looks very nice. Now, of course I did compound on the blade. Had to do that to get the rust and all off. But there we go. Knife is almost complete. Now, let's move on to the sheath. See what we can do with that. All right, let's take a look at this sheath. Now, for its age, it is in very, very good condition. Let's show what we're going to do. First thing we're going to have to do I did notice when the knife fits in there, the strap here has stretched over the years, and it won't hold it tight anymore. It flops around in there. And also, let's cover that back up for a minute. Very worn. Doesn't look really good. It was held in by a rivet, little rivet right there. And somewhere along the line, that rivet has let go. So we're going to take this out. Take that rivet out in just a minute. We're going to replace the strap. I do have some snaps the same size. And I have some leather the same thickness, same weight, if you will, for you leather guys. Mark that out and cut it. Hang on. Put my leather knife away before I was done with it. Now, see, I'm trying to get the camera down here. You don't see what I'm doing. I have got to get another short tripod. Okay, just a hair bigger than what it was. Wider, I mean, something like that. We'll line our ruler up here. Carefully, without cutting my finger off. There we go, because it needs to be a little bit shorter, but we'll adjust the final length here in just a minute. Now let's get this old rivet out of here. And those little tools there works good for that. Sometimes. If there's enough to grab onto, which there's not. Now these are those, what I call a stamp rivet. They just shoot them through there, and it's got two little ears, almost like a, just like a little clip type thing. And they were used in production pieces like this, where they stamp out hundreds of them at a time. There we go. You can see that. That's what it looked like. That one's no good anymore. And these here are the same thing, but they're all in pretty good shape. Now to re-secure it, I'm going to do something a little different. I say I am, if I got one small enough. I think these will work. I'm going to put a little barrel rivet in there. One of these. I've got some snap rivets, but chances are that might come out if it gets used, much at all. Because they're not the strongest. I'd like them to be for this. So, alright, got to get a couple more tools out, and we'll put this in there, show you how to do that. Alright, pardon me for the shivering voice, y'all. It's still cold out here. Take us a hole punch. Punch us a new hole here. Just like that. Thread our new strap in here like it was. Okay, let's get another fit before this hole. Okay, it's going to be good right there. Now remember, always trim this off. You can't add to it, but you can trim it off. Take a stick and put under there. We don't want to punch through the back side. You learn that kind of thing by experience. Ask me how I know. There we go. Done with these. It's like any project, you drag out all half the tools you got to get a job done. Now we're going to take this. Let's find our little tool here. All right, this little tool goes in there like that. Let's see, we might need the other size. Yep, that size ain't. Let's see, we're gonna have to find a different size. Hang on, I'll be right back. All right, found a better size here. I think this is gonna work. Take our set tool here. Okay, see there? That's going to hold it just fine. What that tool does, you put that little ring on top of it and it spreads it out like that. And there's only 2,757 different sizes. So sometimes you got to fool with it a little bit to get it just right. That'll stay there. It's not going anywhere. Take our short side here. Take my Papa's ice pick, and I'm still using after all these years. Okay, part of our snap right there. Hang on, gotta get another tool. All right, let's get our hole punch here. We're going to punch us a hole here. Like that. Okay, and this is going to be our stud snap. Folks, I'm struggling with this cold weather. Arthritis is bad enough, and then cold on top of that. Okay, get our snap there. I'm going to take my forging anvil here. I used to use this to forge knives on. Not really. That is called a jeweler's anvil or a leatherworker's anvil. Put our little tool there. Take the set tool. that on there. Now what that tool does, it goes in there and spreads that out just like the other one, sort of, and secures the snap to it. Now before we do a fit for the next section, let's take our little shears here. Now these are leather scissors. Work really well for small, thin leather like this and trimming leather. Very, very sharp. And they will cut your fingers if you're not careful. That's another one of them ask me how I know things. All right, that's there. Now let's put the knife back in. Now we'll move this over here. And we'll pull it sort of tight. So like that, offset it just a little bit so you can see. Mark the spot. Same thing. Punch us another hole there. And we'll take the crown of the snap. Goes here. And these little ambuls, it's got a stud there that holds it still. And this is rounded. Put your rounded section in there. Snap there. And hopefully it'll snap. Sometimes they'll split. Like that one did. So we have yet another tool. This works sometimes, sometimes it don't. Drive it down on there a little bit. This time it don't. Hang on, let me get my hands warmed up and I'll take that one off and we'll try it again. All right, as I was saying, all right, finally got that one out. Let's try that again. I switched to a little different little tool there. It's got a more rounded base to it. Y'all, I apologize for being clumsy and dropping stuff on the floor. And geez. Okay, got it started. Now let's put a right, there it is from my other tool. See if this one works. Well, after some cutting snaps off and some not so nice words, I had to go to the bigger snap. I don't have the proper tool to set those small ones, but this will work just fine if I can get my fingers to cooperate here. There. Nice and tight fit. Trim that off to look like something like that. There. Now it's break time. And then we'll get back on this. Clean this up some, and I'm going to re-dye the whole thing so everything will match. Alright, got a couple of coats of dye on the sheath and one coat on my hands. Now, unfortunately, this is going to have to dry overnight, so I won't be able to finish it today. But should be no problem to finish it up tomorrow morning. Next step will be buffing it down real good, coating it down real good with mink oil. I may even oil treatment dip this one for good measure. Make sure everything gets down on the inside. And that new leather should match up pretty good. That dye color that I used on it was, it's called chocolate. It's a dark brown. There we go. See y'all tomorrow. Alright, is the camera gonna work? It's being temperamental this morning. It's still cold, but it's not as cold as it was. Alright. Let the sheath dry overnight. Came out really nice. Out of mink oil, so I rubbed it down with saddle soap. Cleaned it up really nice. The new strap matched up pretty good. I think it looks good. Now let's take a look at what we've done. There we go, right there. I've already sent the owner some pictures, and let me get that camera fixed. And he's happy with it. Turned out very, very nice. Now, I done some more research, because most of y'all know I get up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, usually about 2 o'clock. I've seen every picture I could find of these knives. I've never seen one, could not find one with this particular handle. So I'm pretty sure this handle has been replaced at some time during its life. Whoever did it did a good job, except the pommel is upside down. It should be that way. But it still looks okay. It's still functional. Still works just fine. And if you look closely inside that material, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it looks like what the remnants of the old handle, which these would have came with a stacked leather handle. This is a combat knife. Like I said, pre-World War II. Has some value to it. especially in the original condition and all. You know how collectors are, they want everything. Hang on, that's bugging me. There we go. They want everything just so-so, but there we go. Very nice knife. Now let's put it, show you what it looks like in the sheath. It's warmer, it's not warm, but it's 60 degrees for goodness sake. And I am from Florida, so there we go, right there. Now this is pretty tight, but over time it will it'll take a different form, stretch out a little bit. I'm gonna send the original strap back with it. There we go. That'll be back out on the way back to you tomorrow. Pardon me, because the post office is closed today. Now, special shout out to my friend over in Texas that sent this to me to be worked on. I appreciate you. This is the second one I've done for him. If you run across another one, give me a holler, send it to me. Anybody else that has a restoration knife you would like done, doesn't much matter what it is, just let me know. It may not be as expensive as you think it is. And each restoration, somebody asked me how much should I charge for restorations. Well, it depends on what it is, the amount of work that has to be done, and all that kind of thing. I don't know until I look at it, at least see a picture, and I'm really not positive most of the time until I actually look at it. Sometimes depending on the knife, I know what's got to be done. So there you go. I don't try to make a fortune on one job. That ain't the way to do it, in my opinion. My dad was one of the best salesmen you ever seen in your life, and he would rather have, told me, he said, you want a fast nickel or a slow dime? So if that makes any sense to you, I would rather do 10 of these at a low price than I had 2 at a higher price that won't yield as much. That makes sense to anybody? Maybe it does, but anyway, a little bit of the old man rubbed off on me, but I really enjoyed this. I hope y'all enjoyed watching, and that'll do it. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time.